First of all, I just want to say thank you, God. I say that all the time because I just am thankful that somehow I involved myself being part of this program that is using human subjects as test subject or clearly being utilized as they develop this technology. I could be one of these clowns. They always like try to convince me, no, we just proved it. And the thing is, they want me to identify with this manipulation, and so they have this childlike individual to have this like infantile closures that's supposed to make me subscribe to this. Yesterday I was I walk around listening to like the testimonials and the validation. That's just surreal. Like people writing manifestos before crashing out and losing their mind and killing perps who are next door neighbors, and the same testimonials being utilized. And actually, yesterday they were trying to mess with me because the fact that documentation has shown that the beginning of this technology has been well tracked since the 60s. That there's been efforts in being able to, or trying to be able to manipulate the brain, and the results are even visible in the 60s, that they could force people to have sexual stimulations and doing this, even though it was the initial start was just trying to understand the brain and map the brain and understanding what stimulation of the brain, what part of the stimulation of the brain can cause a specific experience. So the early stage of mapping the brain so they can manipulate the brain, right? So once they figure out, okay, if we do this thing, this part of the brain, this is what's going to happen. So now we can control that. So if we stimulate that part of the brain, we can make that person or these subjects have experiences that we design. So we want this subject to have a sexual stimulation, get this part of the brain stimulated. They're going to have sexual arousals, and that's how we control sexual arousals. Now we can have sexual arousal whenever we can have them have sexual arousal whenever we want them to have sexual arousal. Clear documentation. Now, I understand that what's happening today is an MK Ultra and all the previous human subject type of mind controlled experiments on steroid, and so they have an ecosystem, part of the brainwashing tactics that consists of just making the target individual internalize this manipulation, is having these clowns around you. You get the concept. We manipulate him. We have clowns that are going to continuously gaslight him to internalize this manipulation. For him to internalize this, we have people surrounding him behaving this way. But these clowns go even too far. Like, it goes too far to the point where it's impossible for the target individual, in case me, subscribe to it. Because for me, they're even coming up with like, now they framing me with children and things like that. They tell me about it. That, oh, he touched me. I'm like, this is the same people who want you to identify with this manipulation. The same people telling you things so obviously fabricated are the same people who want you to think that you're not being manipulated. So they are, first of all, discredited for the ability to just even come up with this BS. But at the same time, wanting you to identify with this. It's like, we proved this. Like, first of all, the validation that you manipulate the brain is to the point where people are causing mass shooting. Second of all, the same people fabricating this thing up are telling me to not to subscribe to this manipulation. They were bringing up this, and there's a video about it that's coming up. There was the most pathetic, overweight, teenage-looking, short kid, maybe like a 15 max, that was following me behind me, and a date that was like maybe 3 years younger than me. I opened the door for her, for my date, and behind my date there was also this overweight little teenager over behind me and her brother. I opened the door for my date first, and then this little short, fat little teenage girl looking at me saying, thank you. This starts stimulating me. I'm like, oh my gosh. I wish I had a camera. That's why I have cameras on. Because when you see how pathetic this, I'm like, oh my God, this little overweight little they start making me imagine getting stimulation first. And now what they do, they make me imagine kissing a little fat head. Ugh. And you know how they try to gaslight me? They make me think, if you go watch that's the thing about them. They try to make me think that it's not them manipulating me. It's like, no, but that's proof, because remember, a while ago, this happened. And then you thought about this. That's proof that this is not us putting these thoughts in your brain. It's like this proof. Stupidity. This is a little fight over, and then make me have to be insultive because I'm gonna be like this little chubby little freaking midget. Do you think I'm gonna have it? And today, they utilize a lot of childlike individuals. So these clowns, they live in non-reality. They don't even want to be seen. It's so sad. I now have a body cam. So when they try to play the games, like, I'm going to embarrass you, dumbass. Try to be seen. Desperate to be seen. And they know that my brain is going to be manipulated the way they want it, right? And so because they have the whole ecosystem, which you can even probably hear from there, try to create this as reality, right? These retards are like immune to shame, wanting to be seen. Because they know I'm going to be manipulated. I'm like, you pathetic life, even on camera. You know how pathetic you look like? And that's not their fault. They have these clowns who's contracted to gaslight me. Which in front of them, I'm listening to people causing mass shooting, writing a whole manifesto. Look at these clowns. And then the next door neighbors. This guy just finished writing a whole manifesto, make a pre-recorded video, and then killed a 15-year-old neighbor. While you have this trashy next door neighbors try to gaslight me.